Greetings and good evening, one and all. I am DRWolf, and I am very pleased to bring you the Making of podcast for The Secret Life of Fleur de Lis comic dub. This has been a project in the works for about 3 months now, and quite frankly, I'm very impressed with how well it turned out. But before we get any further, I'd like to introduce all of the guests that have been a part of this project, starting with, let's see here, got to pull up intros. Here we go. Starting with Anna, who is known for her role as Celestia in Bride of Discord, My Little Portal, Celestia and Octavia in Vinyl Fair, Twilight and Rarity in Princess Trixie Sparkle, as well as various other roles in fan fiction readings and comic dubs throughout the fandom. She has been doing a lot of great work. I am very pleased to welcome itsannachloem. You want to say hello to everybody?
Hi!
You have any wise words for everybody to start out with?
I hope you're all having a lovely day.
That is a very lovely Celestia plushie that you have on the desk next to you there, I have to say.
I thought it'd be representative of my character. You know, just in case people forget.
I have to say you are a very impressive Celestia VA. I don't know of anyone else personally who has come closer to show accurate for that character.
Oh, thank you. That's so kind.
All right, next up, we have Raechel, mainly known for her roles as Trixie and Princess Luna in the series Princess Trixie Sparkle. Please welcome Raechel Gabriella Anderson. Oh dear, she seems to be frozen. Oh, please stay with us. You still with us?
Okay, no, I'm back. Okay, I don't know what happened.
Sorry, come on.
Okay. Can you say hi to the audience, Raechel? Give us a quick intro.
Yeah, you guys probably don't know me from anything aside from, you know, Princess Trixie Sparkle. I don't have a whole lot of stuff on my channel. That's changing, but, yeah, I'm mostly known as the Princess Luna voice to go to, and Trixie, who is not show accurate in Princess Trixie Sparkle, but I play her character enough to get by, so.
Well, I have to say it was a lot of fun seeing your portrayal of Princess Luna in this comic dub, and we'll get more into that later.
I had a lot of fun recording those lines.
I can imagine you certainly did. Finally, we have Rarity Fang Girl 31, who is mainly known for her role as Sunset Shimmer and Trixie, as well as Twilight Sparkle and Spike for Instant Mom audio drama, along with various other roles, including a couple of previous comic dubs on my channel. One in particular has now become the most popular video on my channel by far, which is a big surprise to a lot of people, but I'm very glad that her work has paid off so well. Please welcome Rarity Fang Girl 31 VA.
Hello, every pony, and I'm so pleased to be here. I am. Is my mic working? Yes, it is. I am just grateful to all of you for helping me out with this, and I am just excited to be here and, you know, just got to showcase what I can do. I'm just me, just Rarity. That's all I am. I am me.
She does prefer to be called Rarity for short, so that's what we'll be referring to her as for the rest of this podcast, in case anybody gets confused.
It's it's shorter.
Yes, it is a bit shorter. We were also hoping that Emogak would be able to join us this evening. I don't know whether she'll be showing up later on. She had shown interest in the podcast earlier this week, but let's hope that she might pop in later, a little later in the podcast. First of all, I wanted to say that this project, we first came up with the idea. Rarity and I were discussing this idea way back, I think it was a little bit after Christmas of last year.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, that's how long this project has taken to finally getting released, because it took at least a good 3 months for you to go through the entire process of editing everything together.
It was also waiting on lines, but yeah, It took a while, but it was worth it because it's been doing so well. And a little Anna, it's okay, Anna. Let's not
hide.
do not hide. Get back here, Missy. Thank you. So yeah, it's been in the works for a while, and when I saw this comic originally, because I think this comic was like October, somewhere before when we discussed, I was like, oh my goodness, I want to dub this, I want to do it. So when I saw that it was a lot of good male characters and something that was very interesting about it, I'm like, let's ask DRWolf and do this as a really big collaboration. And then I decided to ask other people to join, like Anna, Raechel, and Emogak, to help out with the other voices, because I cannot do a Celestia, upper crust, or a good Luna voice, so I cannot. I try my best, but I cannot. So, yeah. And it's a lot of fun to put them together, but a lot of little details, a lot of little touches, and a lot of time. But it was a lot of fun to work on, even though there was some challenges, which I'll describe later.
Yeah, there were a few challenges, I have to say, with the music you had chosen during the credits. Because the first time you finished this project and sent it over to me, the music you were using in the credits was getting copyright flagged. And then the second time you changed the credits music, you sent the project over to me. That time I uploaded it. It ended up being blocked in certain parts of the world. And then finally, the third time, when you changed it to, I think, some Frank Sinatra music in the credits scene, finally everything went through and there weren't any other copyright issues. But honestly, I'm surprised that YouTube is still giving grief over very specific music, especially when it comes to Disney music, because I think that was the one that ended up being blocked in some countries around the world. But I will say that these comic dubs have been really fun variety for the voice work I've been doing. Most of the time when I'm making videos for YouTube, it's basically just in my normal everyday voice because I am DRWolf. This is how I talk every single day. And honestly, I like it doing these different variations on characters. I like being able to interpret them in all these different forms. And I get to do some of that with the dramatic readings I've been doing, but it doesn't, I don't get enough of a chance to expand upon all these different characters in one little project. And especially when I'm trying to do a dramatic reading for female characters, I don't think it works quite as well. People can usually tell the character I'm trying to voice, because if I'm just being really soft and very calm, then people can tell I'm trying to be Fluttershy. Or maybe if I try to make things a little more proper, doing things more like the way Rarity would say things. You have fun doing that in fan fictions, but it's not nearly as impressive when you can get all these different VAs together and create more of a lasting impression on the audience, because it really does sound like all these different characters are coming to life instead of just one narrator who's trying to do these different voices. And once again, I have to say big thanks to all the VAs who were giving surprisingly good performances in all these different characters. Raechel, do you want to tell us about your experiences with voicing Princess Luna, because she's a little out of it in this comic dub after she takes that drink.
Yes. I remember when Rarity Fang Girl came and messaged me on Skype. She actually got my information from Magpie, because, you know, obviously Princess Trixie Sparkle. And she was like, I have a proposition for you. She's like, do you want to be Luna? And I was like, oh, I'd love to. Like, I don't get to voice Luna enough. And she was like, okay, I got to preface this. She's kind of crazy in this comic. And I was like, even better. We're going to love this. And she sends me the link, and I fell in love with it the second I read it. I was like, oh, I'm recording this, like, tonight. Like, we are getting this done, because it was so much fun. But I also had, like, a little bit of trouble because I was also working on my Rarity at that time, and so when I was trying to do the Luna freakout moments, I kind of like pitched up a little bit and kept going into Rarity. I'm like, ooh, no. Gotta bring it back down because, you know, I don't have any kind of reference for Luna's freakout without, you know, her Royal Canterlot voice. But it was a lot of fun to just mess with it because, you know, I was just like, you know what, this is going to be my interpretation of how Princess Luna would react to this type of poison or whatever.
Now, in your case, Anna, you have had a ton of experience playing the role of Celestia in more projects than any of us could probably count.
Yeah.
She is probably by far your most well-known voice that you do in the fandom. Did you happen to do anything different with her character in this particular project, or was it pretty much like all the other roles you've played for Celestia?
I think with Celestia, it's always there seems to be she has a certain amount of inflections that I noticed Nicole Oliver does. That now I'm on the spot, I will probably fail it, but she always goes up and then goes down into really thinking about what she's trying to say, like that. So that's the best thing I can try to explain it as. But for this one, yeah, it's always trying to remain neutral with it. I mean, I do have fun, you know, shouting at Celestia and being like, "Ah, Luna," you know. But those can be the fun times, you know, when Luna's gone wild and you're like, "Oh, gotta sort that out." But I think, yeah, it's really staying true to that character because Nicole Oliver does play it amazingly. So it's like, oh, gotta get it right.
I'm sorry for the technical difficulties, but I am back. I'm sorry. Computer froze on me. I don't know why.
Fine. We've been keeping the conversation going while you've been out for a little.
I was listening in on my phone, so I kind of know what we were discussing.
Okay. Well, I do have to say that I had never done any comic dubs before. I think it was maybe late November, early December, when Rarity here messaged me and said, "Hey, I'm looking for someone who could pull off Twilight's dad in this one comic." And I had been looking for an opportunity to add some variety to my voice work, and it sounded fun to be a part of a comic dub.
They are indeed fun.
Yeah, I am especially grateful that you were willing to throw the entire project together. If I was just able to provide these lines and put it up on my channel and put a link to your channel. And
I also put a version on my channel too, so
yeah,
it's in my list.
And I'm still surprised that it became the most popular video by far on my channel as of right now. Well over 200,000 views.
That makes me just feel like this was a match that works. And maybe it was, I feel so proud because that comic dub, I used my old crappy mic compared to now with my nice Yeti, who I love my Yeti, and I was, yes, it is great, I know you're nodding, Anna, and I was so proud when I saw that, and I'm like, I didn't mean for it to go because, well, it's not something, well, because I think your other content you do, I think, is a lot more impressive than what anything, because it affects me, it makes me think. I mean, and that's why I kind of like the combination. It was you who thought of adding the analysis to the first comic. I just wanted to dub it on my channel just for run like I do my normal comic dubs. But you decided there's a little bit more here that we could do with it, and I thought it was very interesting because I actually like talking about things after I watch them, or when I read something that's interesting. I'm into that. So getting the opportunity to say my thoughts on your channel was like a dream come true. It was like I was fangirling. You can see why they call me Rarity Fang Girl. I fangirl all the time. And I fangirled, oh my gosh, I'm like, gotta be good, mind to make this great. And it turned out really well as the Bobbing for Apples, and of course this project, which is probably the comic dub this is the longest one I've ever made, about 6 minutes total without the credits, and it's been the one I'm most proud of, considering how much time went in, research, because I don't know I'll talk about that later, but I don't know a thing about classical music that much. So, I don't. And I mean, I know some of it. I know it exists because I've seen it in like movies. But what classical music? Because the usual music I like to use is video game music, and most of the time I did use some in this, of course, for certain scenes, more with the changeling Fleur, because I thought that would be a little bit more, because it's more darker, a little bit more darker, a little creepiness. But for the majority of it, like during the ballroom stuff, I'm like, no more music is going to work. This is a fancy, elegant party. We need to make it elegant and posh. So I had to research, and that's how this happened. And it turned out to be a success, and I just thank you all again. I'm so proud.
Considering all the work that you put into this comic dub, I sincerely hope that it gets as much attention as the very first comic dub, because I can tell you put so much more heart and passion into it, especially with all the background music and even the background sound effects. And I'm sure you're going to get more into that later when you're showing off the step-by-step process.
Of course. Yes, I'll get more into that. No time to babble at the moment. Yes.
But I have to say it was rather adorable that you gave Luna's pet a lot of little scary...
Tibbles! Oh, I
Tibbles.
love Tibbles.
Yeah.
Oh, when Raechel was like, oh my gosh, but Tibbles, yes. Like, I remember when I first showed it to her, I'm like, you added the effects, like, yes, because it seems like this comic takes, well, the comics canon, hence why Luna's a little bit more like her Luna Eclipse version, more than what we've seen of her recently, like in Bloom and Gloom.
I prefer her Luna.
I do too.
It gave her...
I like both.
And I love Tabitha, but I've noticed this, that, like, you know, trying to perfect my Luna and everything, I have to pick one, because it changes, like, a lot.
Yes. I feel, especially, I think I noticed it first during, I'm trying to think of the name, From Whom the Sweetie Belle Toils. I felt her voice a lot different. I feel like it was still Luna in Sleepless in Ponyville, but since then I feel like it's a little bit different. Even in episodes that aren't the Dream episodes, I felt like it's a little bit different. Because Luna's a lot more serious, like during Twilight's Kingdom, and Bloom and Gloom, of course, which just aired 2 weeks ago. So, 2 weeks ago. So I feel like when you're a VA, you actually pick up those things. Like, you can tell the CMC are maturing, definitely. They sound a little bit older, because the voice actors themselves are getting older. But they still do a great job with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're so cute.
Well, Rarity, would you like to take some time and show us the step-by-step process you went through to make The Secret Life of Fleur de Lis?
Of course I would. Just give me 1 little second to open the files back up because my computer froze. But while I am doing that, basically what I do, first thing I do is go in and crop the panels is the first step. As you can probably notice, especially, I will bring up the screen once I get there. Just give me 1 second, I apologize, because my computer's being really slow. But especially during the scene, the backstory panels, did you see like the shield? A lot of the parts that I blacked out, which I did in like Microsoft Paint, which because it you kind of get more immersed and you just want the panel. You want what's happening in that panel. You don't want the white. So I've learned that, and it just makes it look so much better. And so that's the first thing I do. I can share screens now. Hooray! Hooray! I can share now.
Huzzah!
Hooray. All right, so this is the huzzah. Indeed. So this is the Movie Maker file with the yes. This is the Movie Maker file, which is what I do for any comic dub. I import all the panels in, and kind of get a randomly plug an effect of what I want, like for the fade up here, for instance, I would put that there. I'm just going to go mute the audio track over here for 1 second because then it won't get in my headphones and won't bother me while we're talking. I thought of that, or doing transitions from back to the backstory, back to reality, things like that, and I kind of thought of that, and I wrote it down on a sticky note or something. That's notes. I wrote it down on a sticky note or a little document and kind of thought where the music would change. Like when I was looking through this, I'm like, when Luna enters, the music's definitely going to change, a different tone. It's going to go to the more comedic, more upbeat music. Or when we go into the backstory, we go into the changeling, the fight. So that was the first thing is entering the panels, and I do the credits ahead of time as well. Just have all the credits right there. I have them all ahead of time. This is because this is the version that went on my channel. It's in the Movie Maker file right now. So that's why that is there, because that's what I put at the end. The analysis video, the whole thing is DRWolf did, because I just do the comic dub, and I give it to him, and he makes it into the brand spanking video that you see before you. Or not really see before you, but you know. So that is the first step, is importing the panels and cropping them. and it takes a while. But this comic didn't give me that much trouble with cropping. Some comics, though, can give you just are annoying to go in those little edges, you know, to white out or no blackout. It's blackout to blackout. So that is the first step. The second step for me, once I get someone's line, especially because there's multiple people in this, I go to the Audacity file. This is the Audacity file for the project, and as you can see, it is quite large, very large.
Ooh.
This is the vocals track, which is where all the lines went. And this is the two sound effect because such as during when Fleur is talking over the flashback fight with Fancy Pants and the thugs, I had 2 layers of sound effects because I wanted an effect for the unicorn's magic, you know, the little sparkly sound, because they were all using their horns during that fight. So I had that all over all the other sound effects. And these are some fire sound effects because Fleur gets burned. And this is a sound effect for handcuffing them, like when it's black, because like they got arrested. And then this is the music tracks. I normally don't have 2 music tracks, but because I had to switch, I switched a piece. Like if I just copy and paste the piece that I want in there, it would move everything over. So I had to make a new file of just that music right there, so that it wouldn't mess anything up when I was going back and retweaking. And that happens a lot when you listen to it and you're like, I think this needs a little bit of a change. This doesn't sound very natural. I need to tweak it. And that's how that went. So of course, there's like times I just use either sound effect. And I have the gains lowered, which is very important. You want your music lower where you can hear the music, but it's not overpowering the actor's lines and the sound effects. It's there to set the mood and to increase, like, set the mood, and that's basically all the music is there for. It's not the most important part. The dialogue, of course, is the most important part, to me, anyway. That is the most important. Because anybody can basically do music and sound effects, but if you don't have good acting and good believability, which we all do because you guys did fantastic, I was so amazed listening through your lines. It was especially Raechel's. Oh my gosh, I was laughing the whole time. It's a little bit off topic, but they were very fun to listen to. Very fun. You were fun too, Anna, but she was laughing and I was laughing. And now
they were fun lines.
Indeed, you got to be crazy. I don't get to do that. But I got to be very posh. And this area right here, do you see all this massive work right about here? This is the battle scene. And as you can see, there is quite a bit to go through. There are effects for fire or a popping sound when Fleur gets... This is like when they're fighting, it's like a pop sound, and then it's like an explosion and a thud, a glass breaking when she falls to the ground. Then Changeling Fleur walks over and starts talking and tormenting her. Music change. So that was definitely the most hard part, was doing battle scene, because I've never done a battle scene before in a comic dub before. I've never done it. And considering my first time doing it, I'm actually very pleased how it turned out and how I did it. This is all fire effects when they're in the fire, when they're fighting and like Fleur trying to punch, and they're in the fire. And this is some more fire sound effects, and then there's like the beginning, and this is the music, of course, for that scene. And then once, this is some sparkle effect I made for like the portal that Celestia creates. I thought that'd be I was honestly thinking of what effect to use, and I'm like, it's a magic effect, and it's Princess Celestia. They gotta make it sparkly and pretty, because instead of futuristic, because it's the world of magical ponies, of course. And that is essentially what this part is, and this is the ending, of course. Some more music change, some sound effects, more sparkles for when the portal reopens and the footsteps out, and that's the end of that. Once I have the Audacity file completely finished, I export it as an MP3 file and put it into Movie Maker and just do my thing with the timing. And so I would like... I'm sorry, I've been rambling, but...
Oh, no, this is completely unrelated.
Of course.
Is your mouse pointer Rarity's cutie mark?
Yes! I especially did that for this podcast. And my background right now is actually, Rarity! I did that on purpose.
Ooh.
I am Rarity Fang Girl. I have to show. Yes, so it is. Some of my favorite scenes to work on were the Princess Luna scenes. They were so much fun, especially adding all of Tibbles' little expressions. I'm like, I gotta do something. I gotta add some personality, little squeaks.
Well, no offense, sister, but we are the more beloved princess.
I don't want to get into which one I like better, but I like both, and I like Cadence. And I love Twilight. I think I like Twilight more because that's just because she's Twilight, but I don't really consider her in my princess category. She's a princess, but she's not one of the main 3, if I had to say it like that. So that was a lot of fun putting that in, like moving the panels as well. This transition right here, this one took quite a bit. These are 2 separate files, these 2 separate files. And basically what I did is I went into Paint, I copied this into Paint, and I just used the black tool to literally pixel by pixel black out Fleur. So then I could use Hurt Before and then put a fade up transition with the sound effect like a ding, like a shiny ding, and there you go for the title card. I thought it would work really good. I thought it'd be a cool little nice thing to say this is a great thing at the start of this whole journey that we go through. This journey of this one night where craziness ensues. And that's essentially about what I go through. Once I get to the video editing, it is really simple. The video editing is honestly the easiest part. The audio editing is what takes a while. And I think I spent about 2 days, not like 2 full days, but like 2 days of working just for the battle scene alone because I tweaked it so much. And that is about it, honestly. Honestly, for comic dubs, I just imagine the scene, what's going to happen, what do I want, write it down, and make it happen, basically. And if I need some help, I ask people for sound effects. Like, if I just need this one effect, I don't know what it's called, but maybe this person has, like, because they do work on stuff, I ask them. And that is essentially the comic dub making process. So that is it. I'm going to stop sharing now because I think I've explained plenty. And I'm sorry if I rambled a bit, but I tend to ramble. And so I was a little nervous explaining this, but that is the explaining. So that is how we make comic dubs.
I think you did a fantastic job.
Thank you.
I'm blushing. And honestly, I hope that there are some people in the audience watching right now who will feel a little more motivated to try some of those things on their own and see what they're capable of. Because every one of the people who create these marvelous projects start somewhere where they're learning, where they don't know what they're doing. Everybody starts there, but with enough heart and enough passion, enough persistence, and even a little natural talent here and there, you can expand beyond what you think you're capable of. You can step outside of your comfort zone and realize, I can do so much more than I ever thought possible.
Yes, indeed. My first comic dub, honestly, if I had to say what it was me. It was a Twilight and Celestia comic. My Celestia voice was awful. It's nothing like the amazing Anna over here. She is my go-to Celestia. She's the bomb. She's amazing. She's also a good friend. Raechel is now my go-to Luna when I need Luna. But anyway, it was just me, just some music. It was basically just like a music track of a song I really liked that thought fit, and then a little toilet flush because it's a really funny comic with Celestia, and it's really, really funny. I don't really remember the name. I think it was an older comic, and I liked it, and that's how it worked out. And I just learned more to put more detail work after being in a few comic drama projects for Sonic the Hedgehog, which is like one of the biggest comics that's still going on, and people do comic dramas. That's what they're called when they're like a whole issue. They're called comic dramas. This is a comic dub. They're the same thing, just a different name. And I saw what he did. I played Tails for that. It was my first really. That was the voice acting role that I first recorded, but wasn't up till like later because it was a really 30-minute long video of 2 issues. It was really, really big. It was really great. And I learned from watching him, and I got some advice from him personally how to do it, and I just added more details and started making it better. Plus, the more you practice, the more you get better at it. Just like with anything.
Absolutely.
And they are tons of fun. Sometimes they can be frustrating when it doesn't sound right to you, but that could, anything you work on, it just doesn't feel right. But sometimes always asking for feedback. I ask a lot of my friends, does this look good? I always like I enlist it, and I'm like, does this good? Do you think, is the music too loud, or is the vocals you can't hear anybody? Because I get a little insecure about that, especially with bigger projects that take, or longer comic dubs, which are usually, the longer ones I'd say are like 2 to 3 minutes. This is the longest one, of course, or like 1 minute. It depends. But usually for like the comedy ones that are really, really short, like 3 to 5 panels, I can do that. I'm pretty comfortable with that. But for the bigger things that are a lot more dramatic, they take a little bit more of me just putting them together, I guess. You just gotta. I also portion this out because this comic dub is long. I portioned out what day, what I was going to work on. What I was going to work on. I did the first 2 scenes I knew I'm going to do it one day. Second day is then I got Luna's lines for you, Raechel, like the second day after I asked you.
Yeah.
And after that, yes. And after that, I did all the Luna scenes for that day, which didn't really take long because there was only 2 of them and they were a lot of fun to work on. So I'm like, keep going, do them all. Then I spent about 2 days of working on the battle, and then once I got Anna's lines, I finished the whole thing up and finished it the day that I got your lines. I finished the whole video, whole shebang was finished. It took only about like I think an hour and a half, including with the video editing, which doesn't take long, like I said, just a little bit of teeny details to make sure the timing is correct. And that's how it works.
Nicely done, Rarity.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the compliment. I'm blushing.
I will say from personal experience that your early projects, when anybody starts on their first projects, they're all really excited and it's really fun, but me looking back now a couple of years, because it's almost 2 years ago when I uploaded my very first video to YouTube, I look back at that first few videos now and it makes me cringe a bit because I know that I've learned so much more since then, and even now there are so many ways that I can still yet improve. And I want to be able to encourage anyone who's watching this that it's okay to start out not that good. It's okay to start out and feel like a complete and total amateur. In many ways, I still feel like I'm an amateur.
Yeah, especially because I only use the most basic tools, Audacity and Movie Maker. That's all I use, and Paint to crop panels. I use the most basic, but I put a little bit more detailed work and a little more effort into it, and I can do the best with those programs. Of course, if I had there's some really, really cool transitions you can do with things like Sony Vegas or Adobe After Effects and all those other programs, which my friend, the comic drama was in, he did that, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. You made the panels move like that, and like a little blur when the electricity, it was so cool. And I'm like, I wish I could do that, but I just do the best I could and focus mainly on the audio because at the end of the day, the video was important, of course, but if you don't have an audio experience, you're not going to make the panels and the thing come alive because the audio is the most important thing.
Honestly, when you told me that you edited all those panels in Paint, I almost didn't believe you. I'm like, there's no way. That's
do you want me to do an example and I can show you?
It's that's some serious dedication.
Takes a little time. It's not that bad. You can just use the the shape tools and just black it out really easily or just move it around. I mean, I do have a good drawing program, but it's just a lot easier with the shapes. It's really, really simple. It just takes a little bit of time.
I did
like
that for
anything.
one of my videos once, and I just remember it taking ages and ages, and it was shorter than yours. So
I've gotten a good work ethic. Listen to some good music, and you just crop away and put the numbers. Especially, I actually in the last 2 weeks I've cropped a lot of panels for future things I want to do. I've cropped 2 mini comics, not official. I mean, they are official actually from 2 different things that are considering for the future, and it depends, because especially official comic books, their panels are cropped really weirdly, and those take a while. Especially if someone's foot is in another panel when they're reaching in, that takes forever. This comic didn't give me that much of a challenge. I think the hardest thing was, the shield for the backstory. That was the hardest part to crop. Was blacking all the white out. That was the hardest part, which I'm happy this comic dub. And if I want to go into how to make the dialogue fade up, I didn't do that for this one. It was way too long. It probably went over 100 panels, double what it would be, actually a little bit more, if I made the dialogue fade up. But that is simple too. It just takes a little bit time on what panel you're working on. It's just all right, so this is the panel before with fade up, and this is the one after. You just got some numbering. I got a number system going when I number things. Takes practice and organization. Being organized is the #1 tip. I have folders for all the giant comics. This is where this comic is, all the panels, so I just go put it in, really simple. And that's how it goes. You got to be organized.
Okay. Well, aside from video editing and using MS Paint to crop your images the way you want them, I'm sure that there are a number of people in the audience who would love to hear how to get into voice acting and how to improve upon your talents and how to add variety to your work. And quite frankly,
Well-
I'm interested to hear from both Anna and Raechel about their experiences on how they got started on voice acting and what it's led up to and what they hope to accomplish in the future. Anna, would you care to share some of that with us?
Well, my first voiceover audition was for a fan dub of the anime Tokyo Mew Mew. It was the English version, though, if you know it. If not, that's also cool.
Okay, I'm like freaking out right now. I love that anime.
I auditioned for the purple one, and then I got it, but then the project was cancelled, and I got into MLP stuff. And I remember my first big project ever getting, like the big one, was My Little Portal, and then from then on, I mean, I look back at the audition now and I think, But the thing is, with voice acting, what I found is, especially you learn with, as well, editing it yourself. I've got a little soundproof system, which you can't see right now, but you learn like more about soundproofing your vocals to get the best thing, and you learn more about techniques and inflections just through experience. Really, it's all a learning process, and it just takes passion and time. That's all I can think.
Well said, Anna. Well said.
I totally agree with that. It definitely, you can't just approach this as, oh, I'm going to do this on the side. Like, I mean, you can. I technically do it on the side because I have, a job and, real life stuff. But you can't approach it like, collecting stamps or something. Just be like, oh, okay, a new one came out. I'll, just add that to the collection. It definitely takes a lot of time. And my story, actually, gosh, it was YouTube. I would just go onto YouTube every day, literally every day, and I would just search in, like, voice actors needed or wanted or something, and then hit, like, upload date, and I would audition for... Exactly. I would audition for everything, anything, and I got a ton of roles, because every time, like, they got my thing, they'd be like, oh, it's so good, like, how'd you get that good of a quality? Honestly, I just used my iPhone and then voice memos. Like, I'm like, okay, guys, I don't have a fancy mic, just, but you do, like, I'm under, like, a ton of blankets, and I would use that mic, but, my first big role was Trixie in Princess Trixie Sparkle, and I actually didn't originally get the role of Trixie. I found her casting call, and I was like, oh, I saw you had a Frozen song, and so I sent her my cover of Do You Want to Build a Snowman, and she replied, she was like, oh, I need to have you. I don't know who I'm going to have you as, but I need to have you. And she's like, I know, she's like, I only have these roles available. Can you do a Trixie? I'm like, oh, no, but I can try. So I tried, and then, a couple, months later, she's like, I need a Luna. I'm like, oh, I love Luna. Luna is my favorite. Like, I'm going to do everything I can. I worked at Luna for, like, 2 weeks before I finally sent in my audition. And even looking back at the first actual PTS episode that I was Luna in, my Luna is not nearly as good. But I kept working at it. And working at it, and I've got her inflections down, and that's a lot of a character. If you want to get a character down, you have to study their inflections, and what it really comes down to being a good voice actor, you have to have an ear for it. I can't tell you how many times I've been on, like, Behind the Voice Actors or something, back when I was working on, different things, and I would see people audition, and I'm like, do you know the character that you're auditioning for? And I don't want to be mean, but it's like, try to give them positive, criticism. And I'm like, okay, try to look at more videos of the character that you're trying to portray.
Indeed.
Exactly. Like,
I run into that all the time, and I'm like, yeah, I feel the exact same way you do. As for me, I got interested in voice acting almost about a year. I didn't start my channel until August, of course. I recorded that comic drum I was mentioning earlier in July and something else. But my first voicing role, I was filling in for somebody because it's a long story. I don't really want to get into it. It's a little personal. But I filled in for Rarity and Celestia, ironically, which are ironically the roles that Anna's going to be in my big project, which is ironic and funny, but anyway, and I was like, oh my goodness, I suck. I used to pitch my voice because I couldn't feel like I could go low enough. And then around, I think it was after October when I started my project, I'm like, no more hiding behind the cheat card. If I want to do this character, I'm going to do it myself. And I found out that doing things like Celestia just wasn't for my range. But then when I discovered the lovable Trixie and Sunset Shimmer, or something like Chrysalis, I just grew to the role and just did it. And that's how it goes, just practicing. And it's especially hard to do a character like Fleur, who only has one line of dialogue to go off of. One little line in Sweet which was my warm-up line. I kept saying that line. I think it was, "A pony of expensive tastes, I see." Something like, I can't write like, something like that. It was a little messed up. But I just kept repeating that. And I'm thinking, what would she say? Because I was warming up. Because I posted a voice reel on my channel that I let DRWolf listen to beforehand. I remember that. Because I wanted to make sure people could give me feedback on it, see, do I need to change it? I added a little more posh. I got a little bit easier talking like that and trying to differentiate from the way I do Rarity, which I do Rarity. And it just comes with time, and I found out that Sunset Shimmer and Trixie are which are ironically like anti-hero / reform villains, are where I'm good at. And people think I can do Spike good too. I'm Spike, and I'm a dragon, and I'm like the best character ever. Yes, I am. I'm Spike, and I'm the best character ever.
Not
I
bad.
know everyone picks on me.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you. I just do my own thing with some characters. I just do my own impression because some of them, as long as I feel like it sounds like them, because some characters are extremely hard to figure out what they sound like. Somebody like Twilight. I think Twilight, at least that's my experience. Everyone can have different experience. I think Twilight of the main 6 is the hardest to find how to do a voice for. Because the rest of the main 6, I think, like to me, have a distinct voice type. Like Applejack is deep and southern. Fluttershy is a high whisper. Rarity is very elegant and posh and a little bit higher. Rainbow Dash is raspy, but a little bit of that cool little mellow mid. Pinkie Pie, of course, is high-pitched. I cannot do a Pinkie Pie. It's the only main 6 I cannot. It's too high. I'm a mid to lower to mid-high. I can't do it. It's too high. It hurts. I don't know how Pinkie Rose and Miss Bunny's one. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they don't die from their vocal cords for doing that. They're really, really amazing. And it's just, you just find it, and it's really, really hard. So Twilight, I just kind of went through kind of my own thing, and it works for me. Some people say it doesn't work, but I'm doing my best to improve on it because that's the best Twilight voice I can produce. And because when you're doing voice acting, at least to me, you know you're not going to 100% sound like the character exactly as they are in the show. You just get very, very close, which Anna is really, really good at, by the way. She's really, really good. She's really, really good at that. And you are. Very, very good, especially with Celestia and Rarity. And you too, with Raechel, you too with Luna as well. And it just happens. That's honestly what I can say. Keep practicing. I think just keep practicing. Find more ways to express your voice. Comic dubs are a great way because it gives you different emotions that aren't specifically in the show and kind of challenges you. How well do you know this character? What would they feel in this situation? What would
that
they
was
feel?
definitely my challenge for this one, because I've gotten like pretty comfortable with my Luna, to where I can, voice her really well. And then this one, I fell in love with the comic, but I was like, oh, how is Luna going to act like this? And I had to like read it to myself a couple times before I started recording. I'm like, no, that doesn't sound like how her character would do it. And then I finally got it, but it was, you're totally right. Comic dubs are definitely
fanfic
one of the
readings
best
as well.
ways
Fanfic readings. Comic dubs, you have the leisure of a picture. Fanfic readings are a lot more difficult because you don't have a visual. And I've done a few fanfic readings with Scribbler, and I'm actually going to be in a future radio play, which is not No Place Like Home. It's something different, which I'm not going to say anything more, but I am a big part of that, which is going to be really, really fun. And that was just like, especially when you have a character who's out of their environment. You don't know, or like if it's a different version of them, perhaps, like an alternate universe, it's a lot harder to play them, but you just go with your director, because this is how this character is. You just do your best and kind of think how their inflections would sound. It's a lot of thinking. Anybody I think can do voices. They just have to work hard enough. I'm not sure everyone would be suited for it. When I first started, I sounded like crap. And I just kept going, and it was a lot of fun to do it, and I had so much fun, and now I've gotten to meet all these wonderful people, and I've gotten to grow, and I'm so, so happy that I got this experience, and I feel like I've grown as a person with all these challenges that are more me. It's a personal challenge, I feel, and it helps you boost your self-confidence, like, I did this, hooray! Like, today, I felt so good, I'm like, this is up, everyone's loving it, I'm like, yes! I was like, fangirling during the day, and I'm like, I gotta get. I fangirl on a daily basis.
One more thing I will say to any potential voice actors out there: don't be disheartened if you don't get an audition. One of the most crucial things to do is to work off feedback people give you.
Oh, especially, yeah. Sometimes, of course, you feel sad, but you get over it.
If you listen to them and you don't get it, ask the person. I mean, it depends on the project, but I mean, if it's like a massive project, like, why didn't I get it? But I mean, if you can get feedback from that person on why they didn't choose you for that audition, that helps so much. You can really learn. I mean, and it's got to be constructive criticism. You could just have people going, "Oh, you suck." That is
honest. Yeah, constructive. Do not just say your voice sucks. Say why you don't think it works. Because I always ask for feedback. Always on my voice shows, feedback. On auditions, feedback. Even if you're not the person I'm auditioning for, feedback, feedback, feedback. Even if I may disagree with what you say, maybe just that's your opinion, and every opinion can help you in a little way. Such as, I remember recently, I was doing Starlight Glimmer for the first time in a comic dub, and I asked feedback, what do you guys think of my voice? People will say, you may be a little more feminine. And I'm like, yeah, a little bit more feminine, I would think. It's a lower voice, so I can see why it may go a little bit less feminine. Because I do boys a lot, young boys, like Spike or other characters that are young boys a lot, so sometimes that can happen. And you just take feedback with anything. I always ask for feedback. If you're wanting to start voice acting, you go, sorry.
Oh, okay. I was just going to say, and also, from personal experience, don't count yourself out for not being able to do a voice. Try it. Like, I had somebody approach me and was like, oh, I love your Luna. I was like, okay, great, another Luna role. Can you do Rarity? And I'm like, oh. I almost immediately told them no, but then realized I'd never tried to do Rarity. And I worked and worked and worked, and I got pretty decent at it to where I got the role in their thing. But don't count yourself out for anything. Don't just be like, oh, there's no way I could ever do that voice. Try it first, because you might surprise yourself.
Oh, yes. I thought I couldn't do Trixie. Honestly. I saw it and I'm like, I love Trixie. This is so fun. It's important, I think, before I get on the excited part, I also think it's important when you're reading lines, read through it in your normal voice, but how would you inflect it as the character? Because that's going to help you easier when you're recording, especially with this. I re-recorded my lines for this, I think, 2 to 3 times because the voice wasn't consistent. I'm like, I need to work on this. So I read it more in my normal voice, kind of do like a posh, kind of posh my normal voice with a posh, or like a refined, and I'm like, this is sounding better. I like it. Then I tried my Fleur voice, and I'm like, yay, I did it. It takes time. Sometimes you can record things when you get comfortable voice, you record it the first time. It's all good. Even with multiple takes, you're like, you feel good. This is perfect. I'm sending it to you. But sometimes you just don't. It takes time. Never try to force yourself to record something. To me, you have to feel like you're ready and you're comfortable. Be comfortable. Really, that is important. Because if you're not comfortable, you're tense, and you're not going to do as good because it's your voice. You want to be relaxed. Even if your character is dying, you want to be relaxed. Try to be relaxed physically, even if your character is dying. Or in this case, your character is being destroyed by another character who looks exactly like you. You just gotta do it. That's honestly my advice. And just ask for people. Ask people, even if someone who's a really good voice actor, comment on one of their videos. Like, I remember, I think the first time I contacted Anna through Skype the first time when I met you, and I talked and you gave me advice about evil laughter, which I still can't do, but I'm working on it. And I remember, just get feedback from everybody. This community is so loving. Just take a little time to ask. The worst thing they can do is not reply or say no. That is the worst thing they can do. Just gotta put yourself out there. I never thought that I would be working with DRWolf, to be perfectly honest. The first analyst I actually worked with was Redcord, because I was in his one of his countdown videos. I was Ash Ketchum from Pokemon. I tried out and was like, I love Pokemon. I'm doing this Ash for my friend's project, which is really, really awesome. I love my Pokemon stuff, like really, really good. And I just did it, and I got the part. And then when I auditioned for Applejack, someone with DRWolf, I was one of the finalists, and I was really, really nervous about uploading my audition. But then my good friend, One Lone Shepherd VA, talked to me, and he was like, the worst thing you can do is basically not get not being one of the finalists. The worst thing you can do, just put it out there, and DRWolf liked it. Even though I was not chosen for the role of the actual part in the video, which went to the lovely Glory of the Rainwings, another good friend, I still got the opportunity to just do it. Oh, Glory. Glory!
I have to say that because you did that Applejack audition, and because
we would never have gotten, I think, this. So I want to thank
the comic dub after the audition for Applejack went to Glory of the Rainwings. And I was impressed with your Applejack audition. I think Glory was just a little bit better. And
she's had more practice.
Yeah.
Definitely. She's been doing Applejack, I think, for a year. I've been doing Applejack for about almost since like October, which is about like 6 to 8 months. I don't know. I'm just doing a voice. I can do it. So yeah.
I was actually quite starstruck when Rarity sent me the message and was like, "Hey, I want you to be in this comic dub for DRWolf's channel." I was like, "Whoa." Hold up, this just escalated quickly, because I've been asked to take part in various other things that aren't even nearly to this publicity caliber, and I'd only ever heard of DRWolf. I'd seen his one with Fluttershy, and I loved that one, but I hadn't seen any other ones, and I knew that Glory had been Applejack for him, but I had saw that he was one of the community guests at Everfree, and I was like, oh my goodness, I was excited that I was gonna meet him there, but now I'm gonna be a part of a project with him, and it was amazing.
Okay, there is one other thing that I wanted to mention before we might be moving on to a Q&A in a little bit. So for anyone who wants to ask questions, you can start posting them in the comments now. There's going to be about a 30-second delay. But I wanted to say, on top of what everybody else has been saying here, that it's okay if you don't sound exactly like the show characters in order for you to have fun with the role and for other people to enjoy your portrayal of that role. Because I do not sound like John Delancey. I'm not even close. But there have been plenty of people who say, I love how you voice Discord. And I'm just trying to have fun with his mannerisms and his chaotic personality. I don't sound show accurate, but I can still portray the character. I can still make it believable, and people can still enjoy how I put myself out there in that character role.
Exactly.
So,
I can totally vouch for that, because as everyone knows, my Trixie is not show accurate. But there are some people that absolutely love my Trixie because I portray her character. I understand her character, and that's really what it comes down to. You can be able to mimic a voice all day long, but if you can't act the character, it's not going to be believable.
You want to be a win-win. You want to do both.
Yeah.
I
it's
feel
got to be embodiment, of the character. I mean, I'm the same with my Rarity. It's not perfect, but
I love it.
Yeah. So, but it's more like you embody the character or your interpretation of that character.
Yeah. Same thing with my Twilight voice. It's not show act. People say it doesn't sound like Twilight, but it's in the right tone, in the right range. It doesn't exactly sound like Twilight Sparkle, but it's how I portray Twilight Sparkle, the nerdy princess who likes to overreact a lot. It's just how I do it, and I just have fun with it. And people don't like it, that's perfectly fine, but people do. And same thing with Trixie and Sunset Shimmer, especially playing a character like Sunset Shimmer who's been reformed, and doing the evil. I had to do evil and reformed. It's a lot. They're completely different. But it just takes some time maybe if we do in the Q&A, people ask for me to do voices, I will do them. I've prepared water especially for that.
I haven't prepared water, but I can do voices.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Well, with that in mind, let's take a quick look at the chat and see if there's any good questions along. Oh, let's give a quick look.
I'm looking at myself.
I actually just recently discovered this chat.
Oh.
I didn't realize that the things that were popping up on the side was a chat. I was like waiting for comments to show up and didn't realize that there wasn't a comment section. I was confused.
The first time I was on a live stream, I felt the exact same thing. I think my first live stream was with Rose Pal and like another analyst, because they invited me. Well, Autistic Pony invited me for a Yu-Gi-Oh podcast because that's one of my favorite MCs like shows or animes ever, and I'm like, because he's like appreciated my content, like, hey, you want to come to this? I'm like, sure, I can do voices too for that, and we had a lot of fun. But I also learned the chat. I'm like, where's the chat? Like, where's the people? I see like when I watch, where's this chat? And I'm like, oh, it's over here. Ah.
So Pinky Rose just said that she wants all of us to do our best impression of Dr. Wolf.
Oh, really?
Oh my goodness.
Okay, hang on a second. I want to see exactly how female VAs would portray the character of Dr. Wolf. I am curious. Let's see if it can
I vote to go last.
Yeah. Oh no, no! Oh, it's already taken. Okay, Anna, you have to go first.
Okay.
I don't know. Is everyone here familiar with my work?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm
I
familiar
am.
enough to
Alright,
attempt.
okay. I'm ready.
Go, Anna. Are you cracking your knuckles? I'm cracking mine.
Alright, this is gonna be awful.
I'm gonna be embarrassed throughout this whole thing. So.
Hello, I am Dr. Wolf, and today we are going to be looking at a special episode. I can't do it.
You were doing so well.
Take your time.
I just
have fun with it.
This is fun.
But you do a lot of videos.
I do a lot of videos, but I haven't.
I think I've seen almost all of your videos, so I think I have the most experience with your content. So I think
I got the hello, my name is Dr. Wolf bit down. Let's move on, okay.
How about you,
Raechel?
Raechel, do you want to give your take of Dr. Wolf as the character?
Oh, jeez. Okay. Okay. I'm going to start off just like Anna did. Hello, I am Dr. Wolf. Fluttershy, why don't you come lay down on my couch? This is really hard. We're going to... Why don't you talk about... I don't even know! This is really hard. This is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. Like, I thought I had it in my head, and then I started to do it, and it didn't happen.
Well, what about you, Rarity?
Yes! The one with the most experience.
What was your portrayal of Dr. Wolf? I gotta hear.
I'm thinking of something. Alright. Hello, I am Dr. Wolf. And take care, Miss Lightning Bliss. It's good to be helping. Something like that. Just something calm and fresh, a little bit soft is what I was going for. Because I think that's because you have a very, very pleasant voice to listen to, so I thought I gotta make someone sound pleasant. I can't sound like bad. So that's kind of how I do it. Something a little bit... it's hard to describe voices when you just figure them out.
There is a challenge for Dr. Wolf to do Trixie.
Ooh!
Oh, wait a second.
We have two Trixie VAs in here.
Okay, hang on a second. Okay. Let me see. Think of a really good line.
Ooh, I could type one. I challenge you, pony villains. Anything you can do, I can do better.
Okay,
any takers? Anyone? Something like that? That's the one I usually warm up with.
I challenge all pony villains. Anything you can do, I can do better.
That's really good. I like it.
The great and powerful Trixie needs to eat better crackers.
I love that line.
Oh, Glory of the
Oh,
Ring.
That's my attempt.
Glory.
That's my attempt with Trixie.
This is a
What is the
question for
most
me.
fun project you've done for everyone from Glory?
Glory. Alright. For me, I'll just go first, I guess. Love you, Glory. Love you, girl. My funnest project I think I've been in is honestly, it's so hard. These are fun, but I think voicing, the funnest thing I've ever get to do is when I get to voice Trixie. Perfectly honest. Any project where I get to voice Trixie, fanfic readings, comic dubs, I am loving it. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. Just go be boastful, because you can probably tell I like to talk a lot. I'm very, very loud. I just do Trixie, and I just do it. And it's just so much fun. But doing Sunset Shimmer is a lot of fun as well. But usually she's not as, usually what I do her for, I've done it for an animation, a radio play, comic dubs. It just really depends. But Trixie is probably the most fun. And a project specifically at this point, I can't really think of one, but I think these are a lot of fun. Of course, my project as well. It's probably going to be starting production in the summer. That's been a lot of fun to get to know people, including Miss Anna. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. And doing Friend of Trixie Sparkle was fun when I recorded for that, because I'm going to be in episode 8. Is it 8? Yeah, it's 8, right? Episode 8. I get to, because I was one of the, because they hold a contest, a voice acting contest, and I am in it. I get to be, I'm not going to say what, but I get to be in it, and it's going to be fun. And I recorded.
Yes, you were one of our contest winners.
And I worked so hard on that video. Oh my goodness, took me a while. But alright, I've had my fun. Alright, Raechel, you want to go? What is your
okay. Are we saying like our most fun role or like most fun project?
Both? I said both.
Okay, both. I can't take your answer as Trixie, but yes, Trixie is probably my favorite to voice.
I don't blame
Honestly, the most fun that I had was probably Luna in this project, just because she got to go crazy, and I love the fact that, you know, part of her repressed memories was, you know, Celestia eating a cake of hers that was actually like, made of dirt.
That's hilarious.
I'd like to think that, you know, younger Celestia and Luna, you know, bickered like siblings do and played practical jokes and stuff. As far as projects go, I'm really only a part of Princess Trixie Sparkle, but that is by far my favorite project, because I get to like have kind of freedom with my Trixie. And you know, my Trixie is not like any other Trixie, but I get to have so much fun with it.
It's so unique.
And and you know, I see in comments on the videos that's like, you sound nothing like Trixie. I'm like, well, it doesn't matter.
It's just as
You're
common
not
as saying
casting
why
us,
is there.
so...
It's just as common as seeing why are their bodies switched, and why is Applejack
Don't even get me started.
Oh, I just heard from
Anyway,
Inga that she will not be able to attend. Something personal happened, so she will not be. But it's okay. But she was the voice of Upper Crust, by the way. She did a lovely job with that, and I knew her from Princess Trixie Sparkle. I'm like, that's a great Upper Crust. I'm gonna go ask her. So I did.
I think we're all like kind of Princess.
I think Princess Trixie Sparkle
here. Yeah.
Exposed me to you guys and got me to want to know these people. Was that? And
wait,
Discord
are we still on the most fun project question?
Yes, all right.
Yes,
Anna,
it's
you've probably been in more projects than probably
yes,
me. So you have the biggest
You've got more to pick from.
I have a very short answer. It was when I played a cultist Russian chicken.
What was this? What was this for?
I think it was for a really weird fanfic. It was for the Lost Narrator. I don't think if anything actually came of it, but it was incredibly fun to voice.
That is very, very interesting. So, for favorite project, because you've been in quite a lot of projects. Favorite project?
Oh.
You've got 3 big ones.
Actually, one of them, probably my favorite project, wasn't actually MLP related.
Ooh, you
Can
say.
I count that one? I was in a Lego kind of machinima thing where I had to do a very stereotypical, I'm done with everything kind of, and I had a lot of fun with that. You know, it was pretty. I don't understand how they animate it, but like honestly, I've just seen a question here that says, Anna, if Dr. Wolf ever does a moment with Dr. Wolf with Princess Celestia, what topic would be a good one to talk about Celestia to talk about with Dr. Wolf?
Yeah.
Hey, Dr. Wolf.
Yeah, you don't. Hello, Dr. Wolf.
I have thought about an eventual project involving Princess Celestia. I'm trying to get through all the main 6 projects and maybe a couple of other characters first, but I have thought about what Dr. Wolf would talk about.
I'm joking.
Celestia.
I am.
No, someone did say that.
I'm being funny though.
I have a lot of ideas too. Whenever I see a new Mom Dark Wolf video, I'm like, what other characters? What could you talk about? I think Celestia has a lot of potential to talk about. So does Luna. I think the hardest of the princesses, I think it'd be hard to talk about Cadence. Because Cadence to me hasn't been able to grow that much from when we first saw her. Her and Shining Armor are the fairy tale princess couple, essentially. Of course, you could always talk about her backstory that was in the official book that came out, the first My Little Pony book. You could talk about that. I would talk about her past and becoming an alicorn. But I don't see much in terms of show material that you could do with Cadence or Shining Armor, unless you want to go into headcanon or fanfic territory, which I think would not. That could be a good idea.
Okay, so there is somebody. This is only funny because the person that owns the comic book store that I'm in is named Kenny, and somebody in the comments said, "Can you all say, oh my God, you guys, they killed Kenny."
Yeah. Okay.
So I just said that. I didn't do it in a voice.
Shh.
Okay, Dr. Wolf, continue.
Right. Okay. What other questions do we have?
One I was earlier asking about in terms of contacting you, what would it be if they wanted to get involved with you?
Right. There are literally dozens upon dozens of people who contact me through various means every single month asking for collaboration projects or wanting to be a guest on A Moment with Dr. Wolf or asking me to take part in one of their projects. And I'm trying to at least consider everyone's requests, but I'm already overloaded with collaboration projects right now. I mean, if you combine all the A Moment with Dr. Wolf, all the projects, all of the various thematic readings that I'm trying to put together, I have like 30 projects in the works right now.
That's a good thing for these that you don't have to worry about it that much because these are a little bit easier for you. You just have to lend your voice and then add your little Dr. Wolf magic and analyzing with me. And I don't mind editing because I feel like that's what I do. I do them a lot, so I feel like it's pretty simple. Yeah. This one was not simple, but so that
when
makes
other people are willing to edit projects that they want me to take part in, and I am impressed with whatever skills they can add, then yes, I'm far more willing to work with them. As far as contacting me, there are plenty of people who message me through YouTube, through DeviantArt, or even just leaving comments on videos, and I do read through every single comment that's left on every single video on my channel. Even though it's very time-consuming, I'm still doing it. As well as leaving messages of appreciation to every new subscriber, because I always have to write, thank you kindly for the sub. And I have to say, today I just barely went through the 40,000 subscriber threshold. And it may have even happened during this podcast, but I am floored every time I look at how many people around the world actually love my work enough to want to support it and want to see much more from me. So I have to give a shout out to every one of my fans who have stuck with me for so long, 40,000 subscribers now, and just wow, I really want to be able to keep bringing even more content for the future, and I want to keep seeing what else I'm capable of and entertaining the masses, and as per usual, it's good to be helping. I love being that positive influence in so many people's lives.
You are. I think working with you has made me a lot more self-confident. 'Cause I feel like with these projects, especially because these comic dubs have a wider audience, so I have to think about, I've got to make this good. I've got to do the best I can do and bring up my A game, my A+ game for DRWolf, A+++ game. And I feel like I've done that, and I feel a lot more comfortable now with just editing, and you've helped me improve upon my talents, and I recently just passed, I think, 500 subscribers a few days ago. Now, like this, I think it was like Monday or Sunday, I was at 500. Now I'm like at 570 or 560. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's fast. I didn't even post anything new. I'm like, where people are getting these from? I'm just like, oh, thanks. Like, I know I'm in quite a bit of videos, but they arrange, even though most of my subscribers are for pony things, I do voice for other fandoms because variety. Because sometimes doing pony things, while they are a lot of fun, can get a little bit tiring, especially because you just consume it on a daily basis. That's why I do Sonic, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh stuff as well. I voice for them. It just also having variety.
Yeah, I just saw a quick comment in the video that we're doing for. Somebody said that they hadn't received a thank you from me. And I think the biggest reason that happens is because there are a lot of people who have their YouTube settings that other people cannot respond to their comments, or they keep a lot of their personal channel private. So whenever people have that, I don't get a message from YouTube saying this person has subscribed to you. For everyone who does have their settings so they aren't so private, I do get that notification, and I am able to go to their channel, and I am able to write, thank you kindly for the sub. So if you want people to know that you're leaving comments and being able to respond to your comments, make sure that your YouTube settings aren't set up so private that other people are able to see what you are doing.
Yeah, because if they can't see it, what's the point of writing?
Yeah.
It's kind of
I
essentially
just think
the point.
that's so lovely that you do that anyway. That's just so...
That is so
I know,
cute.
I was so...
I always try to report because I don't get as many comments as you do, of course, and I always just try to be thankful. Like, if someone like a bigger name subscribes to me and I work with them, like when Scribbler first subscribed to me, I was like, oh my goodness, and I've worked with her. I knew her beforehand, and I was just like, and I got to work with her, and people just like, I like your work in these comic dubs, I like your work here. I don't really, to me, it doesn't matter how many subscribers I have, as long as I can entertain people and bring joy to some people and just make them feel good or greet people and improve, that's all that matters to me. I'm not going to be a voice actor professionally. Oh no, I have other things planned. This is a fun hobby, and it's been a very fun year, probably almost a year of doing this, and I've had so much fun. It's a fun thing to do when otherwise you're just sitting on your butt doing nothing. You want to do something.
I know that feeling through and through. I have a full-time career as an accountant. That keeps me for more than 40 hours a week. On top of that, I am spending 20+ hours a week making YouTube videos. This is how I use the majority of my free time, is making videos. And I love the fact that I have so much purpose to my free time. It's a habit you have to build into, but yeah, it's so much more fulfilling when you can spend a couple hours making a video that thousands of people will see over time, or you can spend a couple of hours playing a video game or watching TV or just sitting idle. It's opportunities that are constantly passing you by. You can make something of yourself, you can improve upon your talents, or you can sit there just trying to think, there's nothing for me to do, it's so boring. You have to make something happen.
I agree. Sometimes for me, because I have, like, I've told you before, I have a little set of, like, I have a little, like, folder of, like, projects that I want to work on when I'm either bored or I have in the back pocket when I need a break from working on the bigger stuff. Because it is important to take breaks for me, especially with balancing your real life, your education, your work, everything, your family, everything. It's a really good organization. That's one of my big things, organization. Like, I have a few little comic dubs or little fan dubs or things like that in my pocket for when I either get the lines if I'm collaborating. I have that just to work on when I'm maybe not feeling so great. Maybe when you're just not feeling good, maybe working on something, getting a positive, that's going to be a positive thing, helps you feel better. I've done that plenty of times. I don't think it was during this project, but I think during the first one, for the first project, I felt really, really good of working on that. I felt like I was doing a good thing and made me want to collaborate with you more. And this will be the last comic dub analysis for a while because I have my own project, big one to work on. But we're always looking out for comics to do in the future. Always. And I know I have a lot of people I can ask if I ever need assistance, like you two lovely ladies, and Dr. Wolf, of course, helping with the voicing. And I know a lot of people would love to showcase what they can do with you and just show them how, and just meet, because I know them. And I know a lot of people, maybe some more well-known and some less known. Just got to get everyone to show what they can do, and I know they're all fantastic people I get to work with every day. And I'm very grateful for the experience. And I hope one day I get to meet you guys, some of you in person. That'd be really, really interesting, especially because me and Dr. Wolf are actually birthday buddies. We have the same birthday. We have the same birthday. Which is actually kind of ironic. A little kind of cool connection. This was meant to happen. We were meant to collaborate, and this beautiful, beautiful things happened.
Well, it's bound to happen eventually, because if you get into a room with a few hundred people, odds are somebody has your birthday the same day.
Yeah, very odd. Let me see if there's a I'm looking through the comments. See if there's a question. Somebody
asked Dr. Wolf. Yeah.
To Dr. Wolf, what is your favorite character to voice and why? P.S. Could you do Tarek, please?
Ooh.
Interesting.
The character that I had the most fun with in all the works that I've done on my channel thus far. I'd have to say that's probably Discord. Once again, I do not sound like John Delancey, but Discord in itself, he's just a fantastically fun character where normally I'm portraying Dr. Wolf, who is always very calm and collected and welcoming and understanding, and taking the role of Discord, I get to step outside of those bounds and be completely chaotic and going all over the place and just loving every minute of it. So even
Same thing with me and Trixie.
Yeah. So even though I do not sound like John Delancey, I can have a ton of fun portraying that character. Now, what was the second part of that question?
Please do a Tarek voice.
Tarek.
I know you've done it before.
Let me think. I got to think of his lines. I am surprised that you do not see this friendship as some sort of imprisonment. Clearly, you've had to give up your true nature to stay in their good graces. Something like that.
That was so good. I loved it. You perfectly got the way he talks. Is it inflections? I'm not very fancy with the voice words, but it was
I don't know
great.
if I got all the lines right, though. I may have mixed a couple of different sentences together.
Oh my goodness. I'm just looking through the chat, girls. We have all the Magpie Ponies here, and some of the PTS crew is here. Oh, there's Glory.
I
Magpie,
just saw
Kale,
everybody.
Purple Rosalind, Carmen. Aw, you guys are so sweet. Let me see if I can find another good question for maybe some of us, because Dr. Wolf gets a lot of questions. Let me see if there's anything for like us ladies.
I know, I'm like trying to.
I'm looking too. For all of you, who is the one person you want to work with the most? For me, it was you. And I got to do it. I would also like, if I had to pick somebody else, I'd want to work maybe with, I don't know how, but I would want to work with Silverquill on something. He is hilarious.
Oh,
I feel like Silverquill could do a good voice acting. I feel like he does his voices like during his reviews. I feel like he'd be great as doing a voice acting character. I've actually seen on Scribbler, Scribbler has this little chart of her for her fanfic readings, and I've seen some of the analysts' names like Keyframe. I've seen Toon Critic. I've seen you, of course. Seen some of them trying voice acting. Diswolinator, of course, because he was the fill-in for Discord and by Discord episode 10. He was really, really amazing. everyone here is amazing. I say amazing too much. So that's really, really cool for them. I feel like Silverclaw should try to do some voice acting. I feel like he'd be very, very interesting. He has so much energy.
Well, the next time I chat with him, I'll make sure to mention that.
Aw, thank you. All right, girls. Anything else person you'd want to work with the most?
Whew. I haven't thought about this. Oh, yikes. No, I don't know. I have no idea. There's too many.
Oh, see, I have the opposite problem. Like, I'm a part of the fandom, but I just haven't, like, you know, I know of a ton of people, but I've never even thought of, you know, like, oh, I want to work with this person. Like, I didn't even think that in my career as a YouTube My Little Pony fandom voice actress that I would have ever been able to work with DRWolf. It's like, so it's not like something that I'm just like, oh, I want to work with this person so badly. It's more like, oh, that person's
If you get the
amazing,
opportunity.
and then, you know, I happen to get the opportunity to, and it's, I have no idea. I mean, maybe Dusty Cat, because I love his mustache. That seems like kind of a shallow reason to want to work with somebody.
Dusty Cat seems like
my
a very,
answer.
very nice person.
Well, the next time I chat with Dusty Cat, I'll make sure to mention that.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I'm actually going to be seeing Dusty Cat at Everfree Northwest.
Yes, he's
later
gonna
this
be
month.
there. I was so excited. Like, I saw you guys' names on there, and I was like, oh, this is like amazing.
So,
Oh, I
does
want to
that-
go
you're
there
gonna
so
be at
bad.
Everfree
that
Northwest
weekend.
as well, then?
Huh?
Are you going to be at Everfree?
You're going to be there, Raechel.
Yes, I am actually. There is a PTS panel there. Me and Magpie Pony is on the list of community guests. My name is kind of in her description with our sound editor and the guy who played the villain of the latest episode,
Pitch.
Shadow. Yes.
Pitch and the senator, yes.
So we are going to be there, and we are going to have a panel. But I look forward to meeting you in person. Like, I'm sure we'll cross paths at some point.
Yes.
Attend the PTS.
It's going to be kind of hard for people to miss me because I'm going to be one of the few people who's wearing a gray vest and a purple tie and a white shirt.
No, yeah.
I'm going to be dressed up like I'm going to a formal dance. And everybody else will be dressed up like show characters.
Yeah, I'll be dressed as Trixie.
Oh my goodness! If I ever go to a convention, I would want to because the main character I use, you know, from these videos, I use an Equestria Girl character mainly because it's still My Little Pony related, but it's not a pony. But I do have a pony. Because like her outfit's very simple. I made it that way on purpose. If I would cause maybe as her, but either that I would cosplay as Sunset Shimmer, even though I'd probably have a hard time with the wig. I don't know. I think it'd be cool wearing a leather jacket, and I could do the voice for people.
Pop the collar up.
Yeah, yes, I would love to. But I think for me, if the bigger convention, I feel like I want to, like DRWolf, your first convention was a smaller convention, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was the Crystal
A lot
Mountain
smaller.
Pony Convention back in 2013, and that was before I started making videos. That was my very first convention.
And for me, I would want to go to something maybe a little bit closer to where I live, maybe. And then I would want to go something like Everfree or VeronaCon. Everfree, usually the time frame, I'm still, school. I'm still in school. So I got to work on that. I can't go. Like, this year, it's during, like, the week before school gets out, and I have to stay for exams. I don't want to think about that right now. Too early. And, but, like, VeronaCon's more comfortable, but that convention is huge. And considering what's happening in Baltimore, it's a little bit scary, but I'm sure it's fabulous. I'm sure it's amazing to go.
Okay, so we have a couple people asking us to do our characters. Somebody wants DRWolf to do your Discord, and then Purple Roslyn asked me to do my Luna
Today,
and do a song lyric.
Well, before I move on to that, I think Anna's going to have to turn in for the evening. Because
Yes, it's very late for you.
Oh, yes, you
way
are
ahead of us.
totally in a...
very, very
You were
early
totally.
for her.
But
So,
thank you for being here, Anna, and thank you for voicing Princess Celestia. I really
Yes.
appreciate it.
It's okay. All right, I'll speak to you guys later. Goodbye,
You have a
everyone.
good sleep. Have a
I
good
hope
rest.
you have a lovely evening, Anna, and
We
thanks.
shall
Thank you.
watch over the night, sister. You may turn in.
Oh my god.
Alrighty, now, somebody wanted me to voice Discord. Let me think if I can come up with one of his more memorable lines. Okay, let me think. You should see your faces. Priceless.
That was great. I loved it. I really like your fancy pants voice, Milo. When I first heard you do that, I'm like, oh my goodness, you sound a lot like fancy pants. I really like this. I should ask you to do fancy pants more often. I really should have, because I don't really. Well, yes, it was very, very fabulous. All right, Luna. All right, Rachel. You got a Luna request. I will do a voice. Purple. If anybody wants to ask me to do voices, you can. I'm perfectly fine with that. I have plenty. I do.
The song was a Daft Punk song. We are up all night to have fun. We are up all night to get lucky. We are up all night, all the time, because we watch over the night. There we go. There was Luna singing, sort of.
I will. Well, no one really asked me, but I think Purple Rose. I'll just do my picture as Sunset Shimmer. I should try that. That is actually my most well-known voice, and I haven't done it during this whole podcast, and I'm very surprised. I usually just go into it. I usually do because she's my bestie. We're besties. She's big in hair. All right, let me think of something to say. Sorry it had to be this way, princess. You country folk really aren't that bright. No wonder everyone says such awful things about you. I'm never gonna be able to live that down. I mean, Flash is cool and everything, but I don't really like him. I just used him to become more popular. The old me really just was awful, wasn't she? And I can do Sunset pretty easily now. And that's how it goes. Aww. And that's how my Sunset Shimmer is. So,
nice
yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. People really, really seem to like my Sunset Shimmer voice. And I feel like I really liked Sunset Shimmer before Rainbow Rocks, and I knew she was going to be great in that movie, even when she wasn't announced till the month before when we saw her. I'm like, where is she? Where is she? Where is she? She's not in this movie. Where is she? And I'm like, when she gets there, I'm like, oh my goodness, she's so great, and I knew everyone's going to love her. I liked Sunset Shimmer before it was a cool thing to like Sunset Shimmer.
Ooh, you hipster Sunset Shimmer lover.
I love her. Oh, even though I like Rarity too. Like my favorite ponies are Rarity, Twilight, Sunset Shimmer, and then probably Pinky. But Trixie's up there too. It honestly just depends. All right, is there any? You sound people were saying the awesome Sunset Shimmer. Thank you. You sound more like Trixie being Sunset. Thank you. They're all saying comments. Raechel is best Luna. You are best Luna. You are. Mouse in the Lost narrator. I love Lost. She
Lost loves my love.
I do too. Why do you think I asked you? Duh. This is an everyone question. How would you feel if someone cosplayed as your OC? I would feel very awkward. Definitely.
I would be honored, actually. I would be like, wow, like you're not just like a character. I would totally cosplay as DRWolf. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Wear like a fancy setup. I would totally love that.
Well, I've never met anyone cosplaying as DRWolf. But I can already tell that people who are listening in on this conversation are starting to get ideas for the next convention they go to.
Oh no.
And it's really not that hard. You just have to have a nice button-up shirt and a professional-looking tie and vest, and that's about it. You just have to be able to sit down on a couch and say, so, tell me what's on your mind.
Alright. That was a fun question. Question for DRWolf. What is your favorite background pony? I guess we could all answer this one, but you go first because it was directed to you.
Favorite background pony? Oy.
That's a doozy.
Yeah, because that can change episode to episode. It really can.
Mm-hmm. Especially with that special thing that's going to happen later.
Don't worry about that.
All right. Yeah. So there's that.
Don't worry about that.
No, don't worry. It's so hard to pick because of what the fandom has done, different interpretations. That is a hard question.
Yeah.
I have to think about this. I have to actually think about it. I usually have a direct answer for most of these questions. I'm like, no, I gotta think about this.
Oh, I know who's my. I know. My
Yes.
all-time favorite background pony is Bulk Biceps.
Ah.
I think he's my favorite too, but I really, really like Derpy.
Yeah.
Mainly for
Yeah.
she's so cute. I really like what the fandom's done with her. Especially like I remember in Princess Trixie Sparkle when Glory did Derpy, like trying to turn in Twilight. I was like, oh my gosh, Glory. And then she sang as Derpy in that song, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you sang. And it was so cute. Yeah, Derpy's just cute. What's another background character? I like Octavia and Vinyl Scratch. I think they're cool characters, like cool roommates. Not really I'm not a shipper person, so I like them just as cool roommates. They annoy each other.
Let's just not even get
Yeah,
into
let's not talk about that. I like what the fandom comes up with. Like Fleur, I think I'm starting to like Fleur now. Thank you, lovely Neckbeard, for making this amazing comment that made me like Fleur. She's awesome. All right. I'm looking through the coming. Oh, there's a lot more comics. All right. Congrats on 40K, Dr. Wolf. And who was your favorite princess?
Goodness.
I don't know if Twilight would count. Maybe she probably would now, but I don't usually count her when people ask me that. She's the main character.
Yeah, she is the character that, of the 4 princesses we have thus far, she is the character that has been given the most development, and therefore the most relatable out of all the 4 princesses. And that's really what I look for most, is a character that you can relate to and that's enjoyable and that you want to see more of. Now, I want to see more of the backstory for Princess Celestia and Princess Luna and even Princess Cadence. I want the show to develop them more. I want them to have a few more chances to be in the spotlight. But since they haven't been given that much, I have to say Princess Twilight is currently my favorite because she's been given those chances and I know much more about her. Everything else about the other princesses is based in fan fiction and comics and fan interpretations, and I want to see an actual show before I can decide, hey, which princess would be my favorite.
I can really see that. I would say Twilight, but after that, I would say Princess Celestia. I love Luna. I like Luna too, and I actually really like Cadence. Oh no, not Raechel. Oh, there she is. All right. So I really, really like. I think Celestia because I love the regret when in like Twilight, Princess Twilight Sparkle. I loved that little scene with Twilight. She was very regretful. I would love to see something. I just like when characters. I don't know. I feel like when they admit that they've done wrong, and they just get so like every decision has a consequence, whether it's a good or bad one. And I like that in Celestia. Plus, I think she has my favorite design. Okay. So who's your favorite princess? And I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure we don't have. I'm pretty sure I already know the answer.
Trixie! No, I'm just kidding.
Trixie is not an alicorn. Well, technically, that doesn't count.
No. Princess Luna has always been my favorite. Partly because I have like just such a connection to. I wanted to be an astronomer for the longest time. Like pretty much my entire high school career, I wanted to be an astronomer as my actual career. And so I loved the moon and the stars and everything. And she was the night princess, and I don't know, but I really want to see more of her in the show, not just looking over dreams and kind of being in the background. But the Princess of the Night is, of course, our favorite princess.
Indeed. Oh my gosh, my friend Shep asked me to do Spike, but I did Spike earlier, but I'll just do it real quick. There's another interesting question for you and me, Raechel. I'm Spike, and this is my Spike voice. I know you've heard it like tons of times already, my good friend Shep. You've already heard it. We do it tons of times for you, but here you go. That's my Spike. And this was a question for us. I don't know if we should answer this one because it's a little personal, and Speedy Tempo asked to us, if you had to cast the main 6, you had to choose 6 different internet VAs to voice them, who would you pick? And you can't pick yourself. I don't really think that's a good question to answer, because that's like, I don't want to answer that. I love.
You asked me that question, but until recently, I didn't know any fandom VAs aside from those in Princess Trixie Sparkle. So I probably cast those people.
Because you know them the best.
Well, yeah, like I know who they do.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of good questions here. It's nice to have questions just like for voices related and just like asking questions. Can I ask you two a question? Would you guys mind that at all? If I asked you guys questions?
Oh, not at all.
By all means, go right ahead.
All right. Since what has there been in season 5 thus far? I'm not gonna say anything spoilers. For the episodes that have been released, the first 6, which one has been the most shocking to watch? Which one gave you the most surprise and was most interesting? For me, I say it's the cutie map. The cutie map for me.
Of the new ones?
The first 6, which is the cutie map, part 1 and part 2, Castle Sweet Castle, Blooming Gloom, Tanks for the Memories, and Appaloosa's Most Wanted. Those are the 6 episodes that have been released at this point. I say the cutie map and Tanks for the Memories. I really like those two. Those are my favorites. But I think the cutie map surprised me the most. Especially when Starlight Glimmer made Twilight shut up. That was... I'm like, you don't interrupt a Twilight Sparkle friendship speech. You don't. And I loved her face. That face.
The one that, like, surprised me the most, I'm probably gonna say Bloom and Gloom. And just because I believed it so much. Like, I thought it was a dream until, like, the little canister broke and she had to go save everybody. And I was like, oh my gosh, no, there's not enough of this episode for this to just be a dream. That was my thought process. I'm like, oh my goodness, please don't let this be her cutie mark. And then it just kept happening again and again and again. And I'm just like, they are taking trolling to a new level. So I'm going to say that one. That one shocked me the most because I was convinced that was going to be her cutie mark when they had the climax. So
you've got a unique experience watching the cutie map because you were at BabsCon. That was a very fun experience, and Silverquills talked all about. So I'm gonna guess it's the cutie map or Tanks for the Memories for you, Doc, but I could be wrong. I don't say it's either one of those.
The episode that was the most surprising, the one that really surpassed my expectations and went in a direction that I was not expecting. There are probably 2 candidates for that. Mm-hmm. And Bloom and Gloom does come to mind, but not because of the dream sequences, but rather the reveal of who the mysterious voice was. Basically, it turned out that Apple Bloom was the one who was bringing down her own self-confidence and drive and causing her to doubt in herself. It was all Apple Bloom doing that to herself. That was actually kind of brilliant. I did not see that coming.
I thought it was Starlight Glimmer. I think everybody did it first.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying that, Starlight Glimmer's coming back, and I'm like, no, I think
it's a little bit early.
Like this. And the other episode that had a moment that surprised me and surpassed my expectations was actually Castle Sweet Castle.
The ending.
And it was basically where everybody finally had an idea about what they were going to do to make Twilight feel at home, and everybody in the comments when I was watching that episode was talking about, okay, they're going to bring a whole bunch of books, and yeah, that would have made sense. I would have seen it coming from a mile off, and I would have questioned why didn't Twilight just think of that herself, but it would have worked. But when they brought in the roots of the old tree to become a chandelier of memories of all these past episodes, and it turns out to be exactly 93 gems.
Oh, yeah.
Or was it 91?
Yeah.
I think it was 93.
Yeah, it was the exact number of episodes of seasons 1 through 4.
And plus the cutie map. I think the cutie map was added on that. I think because I think it was because I think I'll look that up actually. Give me 1 second.
Right. Anyways, that moment really surprised me and surpassed my expectations, and I have to say, yeah, well done, especially considering that episode was written by brand new writers to the MLP series.
It was 93 because the Cutie Map Part 1 was episode 92, and Cutie Map Part 1 was 92, and Part 2 was 93.
Right.
And
Anyway,
yeah.
those are the two
yeah.
episodes thus far that have surprised me the most and surpassed my expectations. And that's probably going to change as the season goes on because I still have very high hopes for all the episodes that are coming. But we'll end the discussion there.
This season, I'm so excited. I felt like, this is my opinion on season 4. I like all the seasons, actually. I don't think there's one. Season 1 is probably my least favorite, but season 5 is looking really, really up for me. I really like where they're going, though the episodes have been released. Especially how mature it's getting. Especially with Tanks for the Memories and the Cutie Map. Mm-hmm. I really think, and especially with even the CMC growing, and these unique concept with the cutie marks of trouble shoes from last week's episode, that was interesting to me that you can interpret your cutie mark wrong. It's not like the cutie mark exactly tells you what you're doing, even though that's what the whole song, what my cutie mark was telling me was doing, but exactly you can interpret it differently. It shows that everyone has different interpretations, and not everything has to be negative. You can see it in a positive way. So that was interesting. I guess they're going in a cutie mark direction, I'm guessing, but that's all I'll say about it. So season 5 is looking really, really great. It might surpass season 4, because I think season 4 is actually my favorite season, and it might surpass it with this great track of episodes. The only one I didn't really like, ironically, well, I thought was, including, like you said this in your review of it, Appaloosa's Most Wanted, there wasn't that much there, but I did like Brayburn, and I liked the concept with Troubleshoes. Brayburn was cute. I love Brayburn. He should have came back earlier.
I still don't think it's a bad episode.
Yeah, I just like nothing exciting.
It accomplished what it was trying to do, and it did it pretty well. It's just, it's not an episode that I would go back to and want to watch again. It's basically something, I've seen it, moving on kind of thing. And
yeah,
I just come to expect a little more from MLP because I like episodes that I want to go back and watch again and again and enjoy all the more. I just don't get that sense from Appaloosa's Most Wanted.
No, and I've had a couple of those, and I didn't actually realize, because I own all the seasons on DVD, and recently I made my boyfriend watch them, but I realized when I was making him watch them, I'm like, oh, we can skip this one. I don't want to watch this one. Because it was kind of like Appaloosa's Most Wanted. It's like, I've seen it, I can move on. I don't really need to see it again. There wasn't, enough there. But there are, like, tons of episodes that I'm just like, no, we're watching this one.
I feel like, can I think of any episode? I feel like episodes like Bird in the Hoof for me was an episode like that. Stairmaster from season 1. A lot of the season 1 episodes I feel like are a lot like that because I was like the shows, but there's a lot of gems in season 1. Suited for Success, The Best Night Ever, Fall Weather Friends, Sonic Rainbow, The Kingdom Hearts Chronicles. I could go on. Especially. Let me see. Yeah, but that's more season. For me. Let's read. Are you looking forward to when DRWolf will having a chat with Rarity when that thing is finished? Do you have to ask that question? Of course I'm excited for the Emo with DRWolf with Rarity. Why wouldn't I be? I love all the Emo with DRWolf projects. They're very relatable. I think what I did with the last 2 videos, I've like talked to you personally what I felt about it and like give a directional message to you what I felt. Especially the Pinkie Pie video, I think was very relatable to me personally. And I'm excited what you do with Rarity, and I'm pretty sure there'll be some whining in there, and I'm excited to see that. Because Rarity, Rainbow Dash in Tanks for the Memories got Rarity levels of crying. I can't wait to see how Rarity's going to go during her therapy session, because she does lay on a couch a lot. She does. She does lay on her own couch a lot.
The Rarity project, I finished the script for that a while back, and I have all the audio finished for it. The artist I had originally asked to do this project tried to get started on it and decided that couldn't finish it. So within the past couple of weeks, I found a new artist who's going to get started on it, and hopefully it'll be completed by June, maybe. We'll see. And then I still have the Rainbow Dash project after that point, and then I can move on to the Twilight Sparkle and have all the main 6 completed, but it's still a long ways off. I don't want anybody to expect this to come out in the next couple of weeks.
Oh no, guys, please don't. I'm gonna be interested when that Twilight, because you had I Am Shadow voice Twilight for the first video. I know this is a little bit of I don't think I should ask this, but because are you good? I think I was gonna ask if you were gonna have her voice Twilight for that. I think you should. Or honestly, because you already have a Twilight VA that you know can be capable of pulling her off from the first video, then it will take you a lot less time to get started. You can just, and I'm pretty sure she'll be up for it. I Am Shadow is a wonderful person.
I Am Shadow was very good for voicing Twilight in the very first Main 6 interview I did with Fluttershy. She pulled off a fantastic Twilight Sparkle, and quite frankly, I would be interested in having her voice Twilight Sparkle for that next project. However, I believe in being fair and giving everyone their chance to give their very best. I don't want to automatically assume that I Am Shadow is the best role, the best fit for Twilight Sparkle when that Main 6 interview comes. And I will be putting out another audition video like I've done for the rest of the Main 6, and I will be sending that video to I Am Shadow, and I hope that she'll want to audition and give her very best. But I want to be able to still have the opportunity open for anyone who wants to take part. I'm a firm believer to give everybody that equal chance.
I mean, I took a shot out in the rain, and that's how this all happened, because I did. I will definitely be, especially, I wanted to for Rarity and Rainbow Dash, but like Twilight and Applejack are my two comfortable Main 6, so I'm definitely going to give my best and do my best Twilight and just give you, plus it's a lot of fun doing those, because it's like a fandom. Ooh, what'd you find, Raechel? Any interesting questions?
Here's a question. You may just want to answer this with a simple yes or no. Dr. Wolf, after you do a moment with Dr. Wolf for the Main 6, will you go into background ponies?
Well,
I don't know if there's...
I have ideas for Spike. I have ideas for the princesses. I have ideas for Discord. I have ideas for Big Macintosh. I have ideas for the CNC. I have ideas for all different kind of characters, but I don't know who I do next after Twilight Sparkle. I don't know who would be the very next one. I have to decide what I want to do next. I have ideas for all these different characters, but I haven't written any scripts for them, and I don't know who's going to come next. And it's going to take a very, very, very long time to even get to those characters.
Yes, indeed. I think this is your choice. I'm going to predict you might do Spike afterwards, because he's like, I consider him part of, even though I kind of say with Sunset Shimmer is the Main 7, kind of, because she's like the human Twilight, the Twilight Sparkle of the Equestria Girls. I think Spike would be a next logical choice. He is the only, of the Main 6, he is the next developed character besides the Cutie Mark Crusaders, which you did that fanfic reading of something that you wrote. That was very adorable. I love that. That was cute. So that's would be me, but whatever you decide to do, it's always interesting to see you thinking of new ideas, and it's really fun to audition because it's like a fandom, and I love fandoming. It's a lot of fun to see how good can you portray this scene and going all emotional. It's really, really fun. So don't expect anything. Patience. That's the thing you gotta learn. Patience. I actually had to wait a while for Anna for this project because of her school and everything, which I'm totally patient with lines. You have real life, you do that. But I always did ask her, how are you feeling? Are you okay? Maybe this is what you could do. And then the one day we talked about the role together in a Skype call. We talked about it, like how we portray it, and she did it the same day, and that's when I finished the whole video. So just patience, people.
Alrighty. I noticed that we have gone past an hour and 45 minutes for this podcast, so I'd like to start winding things down, but if you can find one, maybe two other really good questions, by all means, and we can try to close things down.
Alright, I'm looking. What's an interesting question? What was our first reaction to Friendship is Witchcraft? Ooh, I
I
think my
can't
first
answer that because I don't know what that is.
It's a little parody of it's like an abridged series. For me, I was like very intrigued at what this was doing. I was very confused. But it's pretty interesting. Of course, I'd rather watch the show and fan projects that are like based off canon, but it's pretty enjoyable. There's a lot of like good effort with the lip syncing, but it has some funny moments. I'm pretty sure a good person discussed the best person I think has talked about friendship witchcraft is most is the voice of reason. He definitely is an expert, I think, on friendship is witchcraft. So yeah, that's my reaction. Just confused was my first reaction.
I'm trying to remember which video I came across first that was related to friendship as witchcraft, because I don't think it was the episodes they came up with. I think it was the music they came up with. And I'm trying to remember which one it was that I first saw way back in 2012, I think.
The Gypsy Bard?
It may have been the Gypsy Bard, or it could have been at the convention, because I remember really liking At the Convention and listening to it many different times.
I think something's wrong with the audio. It's like I don't know if it's your audio, but it's going really fuzzy. I don't know. I was hearing some problem. I think so. Wait, Raechel, can you talk for a second and say hi? Yeah, it's your audio. It's yours. It's
Sorry
not
about
Raechel's.
that. Is my voice
It's okay. I can
now?
it's a little bit so fuzzy, but I can hear you.
Okay.
Because is there any other good questions? You see any, Raechel? This is a nice one. Why do you watch the show? Why do you watch Pony? Why do you watch it?
Oh, okay, this is a nice question. I think this could be our last question. This seems
Yeah,
like
that's a very alright. You can go, Raechel.
Well, I started watching the show because Tara Strong is my voice acting idol. Don't hate me. I don't really like Twilight Sparkle, but she's the reason that I started watching the show, and I continued to watch it because, I go through life, as an adult, and there's not. I mean, I don't want to say there's not friendship. There is, but there's not enough optimism, I guess, in the world, and having something to look forward to every week that's, just a kind of an escape. And, the fandom is just so nice. That's the reason that I keep watching the show, because it's a nice escape, and it's like, for every terrible person out there, there is one brony that is the complete opposite and is amazing.
Aww. Dr. Wolf, would you like to go?
Oh, I don't know if my voice is going to come through all that well, because I think my laptop here is overheating. So, Is my voice still coming through?
Yes.
Yes,
There's a little fuzz, but we can hear you.
Okay.
Just a little bit, but it's not that bad.
All right. So why do I watch Pony? It's uplifting, and it's even inspiring, and it's encouraging, and it's creative, and it's entertaining, and it's downright funny. It's entirely memorable, and quite frankly, it's really, really good at exceeding your expectations. But honestly, I love the show because I love the fandom, and I love the community surrounding the show. That's what really drives my passion for taking part and making these videos, is because the community is the most welcoming and understanding, creative, and encouraging community I've ever seen online. And I wanted to be able to take part and make it even more so. That's why I watch Pony.
Well said.
Well said. My answer is probably a lot of what you two said, but for me, I actually, when I was really, really young, I actually watched G3, and I used to love it so much. I remember I loved the G3 Rarity, and ironically, Rarity is now my favorite character now. Even though G3 Rarity was more Pinkie Pie than Rarity.
She's nothing like Rarity.
No, nothing, of course, but yeah, I used to watch it when I was like 2 or something, like really, really young. My parents used to tell me, "You love this." So, and then when I found out, I randomly found Friendship is Magic on Demand once. I saw it, and it was the Discord episodes, the Burn of Harmony. I'm like, this isn't a pony show with hypnotism and discordedness? I'm like, what is this? So I started it, and I just fell in love, and it's such a nice different from some shows, because I'm not a big fan of live action shows. It's such a nice thing from something it can be dramatic at points, but not something dark, nothing violent. It's all positivity. It has great music I can listen to. I listen to it all the time. It's so uplifting. A lot of what you guys said. I watch Pony because it's a fun show. It brings back my inner child, I guess, even though I'm kind of not that old. I'm not like 60 or something. I'm not like this nostalgia age yet. So, and I just love I just love it, and it just makes me feel so good, and I don't care what other people say, because this show is great, and it can change your life, and I think the positive messages that it brings makes me want to be more like these characters who can bring positivity, also with the fandom, positivity to the world, and just little things, and I feel like some of the morals have been very, very heartwarming, especially with some of the ones that like the Tanks for the Memories, that moral of accepting something, that really, really was a good moral for me, because it's hard to accept change, especially when you have someone who is leaving you, and just the lessons. So that's why I watch Pony, because it's a fun show, the fandom is great, it teaches you things, and it makes you feel like when you do a good thing, you just feel better. That is my honest why I watch Pony, and I love it.
Well spoken.
Thank you. You guys were well spoken as well. This has been a fun.
I'm glad that the two of you and Anna were able to join me this evening. We've had a really, really good discussion. Aside from talking a great deal about the process that went into The Secret Life of Fleur de Lis, we ended up going into a lot of really fun conversations about the community in general and voice acting in general and just fun stuff. A lot of these podcasts tend to turn out that way.
But it's what you do when you have a good group of people, and this is the first. I've talked to Anna before, but I never talked to you two before like this, so it's just fun. And you just grow comfortable. I was really nervous at the beginning. I was like, anticipating this all day. I'm like, my butterflies are in my stomach. And then when we started talking after the introduction, I'm like, okay, this is fun. Just have fun, be yourself, and you see that I'm Rarity. Now you probably know what I'm like, and it's just been a lot of fun getting to talk to you. And even I just love discussing things with people, and it's nice to do it verbally. It's just a lot of fun. And I thank you for making this podcast possible, Dr. Wolf. I really, really glad I got the experience, and I'm sure Raechel and Anna did as well.
Yes, absolutely. I was so honored that I was even approached for the project, but the fact that we're doing, the whole making of and everything, and background kind of behind the scenes view, just the whole experience working with you was amazing, and I hope that at some point maybe in the future we can do it again, provide my voice for another.
Once my giant Rarity project is over, I will be back I will be full on ready to do more collaborations, and if we see something of a Luna, I will definitely call you. Definitely. There's tons of Luna stuff out there. There's tons of it. So you'll definitely will be there. And along with the other voice actors that I've gotten to know, it's been a great experience. So I thank you, Dr. Wolf, for making this all possible. I really do. I appreciate it. This has been such an honor. It's been so fun. I just thank you enough. I can't thank you enough. I literally can't.
Well, you are the one who put the bulk of the work into this project. I have to say, your editing and the music and the background sound effects and how everything just fit together so nicely, it's really fantastic. And I hope that we get to do more projects like this in the future, but understandably so, these take time. It takes a long time.
Yep. Of course, there's always little comics that I like to have, like my back pocket. Maybe if they're like I approached you the other day with one, something small, not something that's maybe has something with analysis, but there's tons of stuff in the future. You just gotta take one step at a time, and just go with the flow. Just do one thing at a time.
Looking forward to that, honestly.
Yep, and we've got a good team of people I can help us out if we need it, which we probably will, because there's tons of characters that I can't voice, like Luna. And plus, it's good to have other people, so you just have some variety.
I wanted to give a special shout out to all of my subscribers. Once again, thank you for putting me over the 40,000 threshold. I never would have believed that I was capable of entertaining so many at once and being able to help so many at once and being that positive influence for fans around the world. And I love the fact that I'm serving a good purpose, and for everyone who has helped me to come this far, thank you kindly once again, and I look forward to bringing much more in the future, and I hope that I can continue to grow and improve and reach even more people. Once again, thank you to Anna, and thanks to Emogak, even though she wasn't able to take part in the podcast this evening. And another big thanks to Raechel and, of course, Rarity Fang Girl 31.
You are so welcome. I love doing this. We will have to do something.
Anytime.
Anytime. You know where to find us, and I know where to find people.
Alrighty. Well, as per usual, I have many more projects coming, and I suppose I should end with I am Dr. Wolf, and as always, I look forward to hearing from each of you. Have a lovely evening, and good night.
Good night, guys. Thanks for watching.
Good night.